I've been somewhat conflicted about which lights to go with for the kitchen. And these are like three options that I've picked. Now, these are all retrofit can lights. Now, I'm not going with a traditional can light because they, even though they say they're airtight, they are not airtight. And they protrude pretty far up into the insulation, thus negating a really thick blanket of insulation. So instead of having, like 18 inches on top of these guys, you have 10 inches on top of a normal can. And the can is a hot spot, so that all of that heat in the winter is just leaking right out through your thinner portion of insulation. So the way that I'm going to do these, I think I know which one I'm going to pick. I'll tell you in a bit. But I'm going to frame a box out of 2x4 and then attach that to my ceiling up there. With some horizontal bits, and then I could locate the box wherever I want. And the 2x4 box will have a plywood top, and then the bottom is just going to be drywall, when we install our drywall. But the drywall is going to be glued and screwed up to the face of the box. So that would create an airtight chamber above the drywall that these lights will reside in. And then I'll run a Romex wire into that box, foam it, and then I could terminate the wires into these lights however I need. Now we'll start with the one I'm definitely not going with, which is this guy, which is, at first glance, it's a pretty good light. It's all metal construction, except obviously the LEDs and this plastic bit. But the frame of it's metal, the backer's metal. The thing I don't like about this is this driver and these tiny, tiny wires. I just don't like those. So I'd have to put another box up in the attic and this, well, not in the attic, but just above the ceiling. Put another box so I could terminate these wires in an electrical box properly to pass code. This light is intended to be mounted in a box. Let me go grab one and show you. So this is the kind of box that it would go into, a 3.5-inch round box. And it has tabs that you can screw the tabs to the box and then clip the light into those tabs after everything's mounted up in the ceiling. This would also go into that, framed box that I'm making. The only problem with this is this has to be mounted at a very specific height up in the attic, up in the ceiling, for this to clip on properly. And even though it's meant to mount to one of these, you still have to cut a round hole because it protrudes down farther than the box. You'd have to, it wouldn't be flush if you just cut out a hole for the J-box. So I've come to the realization that I'm going to have to cut a round hole anyways, regardless of what I do, because I can't find one that mounts to the box that's also like razor thin. I know Philips has some that are thicker, and then there's also other ones that you can buy on Amazon, whatever, that are like domed. And I don't want domed. I want it to be flat and thin. So that rules out this guy. And then the third option is this guy we got from Lowe's. And that's a Juno. It's this guy. Is it on there? There we are. Model number. So that's what I'm going with for the lights. It was a pretty easy decision because this has a foam ring. Well, I'm not needing that in this case. I still need to build the box over this because I don't know if it's like IC rated. I could probably look on the box, but I don't want to do that anyways. And so I have a lot of options in the future if these ever like crap out or I'm not happy with them. But obviously this is really nice because it has the box. It has knockouts. So I can run my Romex straight into here, terminate it, and then keep going. And this guy just gets mounted up in the ceiling. It's really thin. And it's, again, all metal construction. It's quite nicely made. An interesting thing to realize here is You look at the lighting facts on this Juno. That's that guy. Light output 890 lumens. Now that's 13.1 watts, so 67.9 lumens per watt. And then this other Utilitech, this one that mounts to the J box, the Juno is more efficient. And if you look at the next line down, color accuracy, CRI, color rendering index. Focus. Yeah, there you go. 80. That's how closely this represents sunlight as far as the spectrum goes. This Juno light, 90. 90 is a really good number for CRI. So this will give you a much more pleasant, full light as opposed to this guy. And who knows what this guy is? I looked on the listing. It's on Amazon here. Now, it is 850 lumens, and it's 12 watt. So that's pretty good. Yeah, $14.99. This is probably the cheapest option. And there's the most options for, power and color. But again, like I said, this is cheap Chinese stuff, and that's why I don't want to go with it. Also wouldn't pass code, like I said. Yeah, so that's my lighting selection. I was going to initially mock up all of these, but the decision is quite obvious that this is the best option. Irregardless of price, the price on these is not, in the grand scheme of things, a significant factor, but it's a very large part of the experience as to how pleasant a room is.